Hi, loves, it's Elle, and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Today we're gonna do a little talk video. So grab some coffee, grab some tea, grab a glass of wine, water, whatever you want, and let's chat. When I came back from my basically my year off, wasn't a full year, but basically a year off dealing with my daughter's cancer, I told you that I was going to be posting different stuff like fashion hauls and talking to you about this and, talking to you about how I felt and possibly a lot of other things. And so I've just been feel called lately to chat with you guys on how I moved through such a difficult situation and how I am finding myself again. I know a lot of you guys out there, my family, my support system, my squad, a lot of you guys are caregivers for whether that be children, older parents, family members, etc. I have a lot of nurses that are obviously you guys are, that's your job, you're caregivers. And a lot of our community has gone through tragedy over the past several years. And I know that sometimes when I have an opportunity to speak about something I feel really deeply in, it helps to heal me, and I know that it helps to heal you guys and give you some hope and joy at some point. So I thank you to start off with for allowing me to be able to do this with you today. It is going to be a little bit more of a serious video. This is definitely a side of me that has been strengthened over the past year, and I'm grateful for it. Also, as you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm actually in my bedroom. My bedroom is my safe space. I don't know if any of you guys have that in your home or wherever you are, and maybe it's your car, or mine is like my room and my bed since I was little. Okay, so a couple of things that I have never really spoke about, and I feel like I would love to share with you guys. So I feel that I have had to move through tragedy my whole life. When I was 8, I was molested. I have had some situations that have happened in college and when I got older that were not okay regarding SA. And I also have had a beautiful daughter, but was diagnosed with epilepsy and in the hospital for 14 days at the age of 2.5. I only got 2.5 years of her healthy. And then about a year ago, she was diagnosed with ALL, which is leukemia. So I've had a lot of trials and tribulations that I know you all have as well in your life. And I've always found a way to come out on the other end of it. We are now in maintenance phase of my daughter's treatment. And I feel like I constantly am in this cycle of refinding myself, redefinition of myself, living for myself again, finding what that self-care looks like, and it's been a journey. Life has been a journey. But the reason why I want to speak on this is because part of this is that when we get into these situations, and when I have been in these situations, it is so very easy to, get lost and to really get deep into it and almost let it become your identity, who you are, how you move through the world, and it just isn't a sustainable way to live. I have the most amazing husband in the whole entire world. But when Gray I've been through all of her treatments. She's 8 now, so she's been in and out of hospital since she was 2.5 for most of her life. And I am grateful to say that we are on the other end slowly, which is another year of treatment. But I am the main caregiver. I'm the default parent. I am the person that takes care of this house. I am the person that takes care of her. I am the one that making sure that this house is a functioning entity in its own, because that is so important. I want her to feel stable, supported, loved, and my husband obviously, has a full-time job. I obviously have 2 full-time jobs with YouTube and my skin studio, but whenever we're looking at this as a whole, it can get really, really dark. And there usually is one person that becomes that main person that is relied on. And if that is you, I would just love to give you a big internet hug through this camera, big, big hug, and to tell you that I see you and I hear you and I love you and I am grateful for your time and dedication to the people that you love in your life. I was listening to a speaker recently. I don't know if you guys know who Tony Robbins is. I don't watch a bunch of his stuff, but I was, when I'm in these kind of darker spots where things are heavy, I have a tendency to gravitate towards things like personal motivational books, guided meditations that are more positive and uplifting and things of that nature. He had spoken about something called changing basically the beliefs. The beliefs can either basically what he's saying is they can either wreck you. Your beliefs can either wreck you or they can make you, which basically means is I have felt most of my life, why is this happening to me? Good things never happen to me. I keep getting trauma in my life. SHI Tut keeps happening to me. If you watch Peter Mon, that's from him. I love him. I will have to say, if you guys don't watch Peter Mon's Peterisms or his vlog, when I was in the hospital all the times with Gray, I actually turned to him as a source of enjoyment, as for me to forget what I was doing and just live in a different world and somebody else's story. So if you guys don't watch Peter Mon, he is fantastic. Please do. But anyway, what that concept is, and I've really taken it to heart because we just entered maintenance phase, like just a few months ago. And it's a much different world. She's in dance. I have time for myself again. It's weird. Like it's a very weird transition. And for me, when I heard his words say that, so my belief was that things keep happening to my life. I am unlucky. Things keep happening to me. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is this happening? My daughter keeps getting sick. Why is this happening? I am just a bad person, or I am just a person that is just meant for life to be somebody that is dealing with drama, trauma, and tragedy in her life. Now, if you are like that, that is a really uncomfortable and miserable place to live. I have come out of those feelings quite a few times, but I never heard it the way that Tony had said it. Those were beliefs that I held deep in me, and beliefs are self-fulfilling prophecies. So if you keep saying, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm all the negative self-talk we have about ourselves, I'm always depressed, nobody, all of those things, they are, in general, a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, I'm not talking about serious clinical diagnoses and things like that, okay? There's a difference between feeling depressed and being obviously depressed clinically. That is not what I'm talking about. But that belief I had it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I self-medicated. I ate horribly. I hardly ever worked out. I did not take care of myself because I was pouring into everybody else. They always say that the cup, you have to fill your cup up before you fill somebody else's up. But when you're a caregiver and you've gone through so much trauma in your life, your cup you could care less about. You're just trying to make sure that other people around you are safe, happy, and healthy. And that's obviously not the super manageable and sustainable way to live. But my beliefs I had to change. So if I was to have one message that did come out of this is, well, not one, there's a couple, is beliefs that you are a thing. Anything but kind, positive, beautiful, loving, successful, abundant, all of those things are counterintuitive to who we are. Now, I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not saying getting to that place is easy. But for me, that's what really helped me. When he said that, it changed a light bulb in me. And he says, you've got to change your belief. You will never change your outcome in life, whether it's simple things like you want to be a more productive person in society. You want to be a better wife, a better mom, a better husband, a better, whatever it is. You got to change that belief that you are no longer that person. So what he does is he has this exercise where he has, and I did this exercise, and I encourage you to, if you feel this way that I'm talking about, I encourage you to do it as well. He basically said to write down what your what you think of yourself. So what is the story that you tell yourself? Write it down. Don't just think it. Write it down on a piece of paper. If it's a couple of lines, 2 pages, a couple paragraphs, write it down. I urge you and I challenge you to do this and see what it comes up. Because these are limiting self-beliefs that honestly, really, I didn't really think I had. So I wrote this whole list down, and it was the things I just told you, okay? I'm not enough, nothing I do is ever good enough, blah, 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 all these things. And what you do is, and this takes work. This is not like, oh, I think it once and it happens. This is a daily occurrence. I think these things to myself, which is, I'm going ahead. You basically flip the script. So what do you want it to look like? What do you want your self-talk to sound like? What do you want your life to look like? So for me, it wasn't a bunch of tangible stuff. For me, it was, I am enough. I am perfect how I am. I am putting more effort into what I want to be, look, feel, all those things. I am abundant. I am successful. I am worthy. I am enough. And honestly, I wrote them on like a large piece of paper and I stuck them on my bathroom mirror. There's been many days where I want to rip that down and be like, Elle, this is so stupid. Like this is whatever. That is also negative self-talk, and I try to catch myself. So the one point I want to, tell you that helped me get out of this place of feeling so awful when awful things are happening is to change that belief in me that things are good around me. It doesn't matter that unfortunately my daughter and everything else has been happening, but there are good things in my life. I am worthy. I am abundant. I am taking care of myself, those things. So you have to flip the script in who you believe at your core who you are. I hope this is making sense. I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm not editing this video. Sorry, my phone just dinged. But I'm just trying to give you guys tools, because if there is no way out and you don't know how to find the tools, I hope that maybe some of these can be tools. I also don't have a lot of time. That's the one thing. So this has been done at like, a couple nights in a row where I only had like 5 minutes, or that was all my mental capacity could do. My second thing is I talk about this a lot, but it's a practice of gratitude. And I know this is very hard for a lot of people. So, because a lot of people gravitate towards just seeing the negative, just seeing what is wrong. And that is very easy to do, because what do? If you only focus on things that are wrong, are you going to see more things that are wrong? Yes. If you try to focus your best on seeing the things that are great in your life, no matter how small, or 1 or 2 or 12, a million, you're going to see more good things in your life. So instead of me seeing my daughter as sick and me being, never looked after as far as myself, I changed that and said, I am so grateful that she is here. I am grateful to hear her laugh. I am grateful to be able to put her down at night. I am grateful that she's able to go to school. I am grateful that she's able to lay here in my arms and go to sleep. Small things. So gratitude has been, and I don't really necessarily do a written gratitude practice anymore. It is very much an all day long gratitude practice. I try my best that should be the forefront of my mind. Now, when you've gone through things like me and what I know a lot of you guys have gone, it's an active practice to try your best to change this around so that you don't end up going in a place where we all don't want to go, okay? This also came up really deep for me, and I won't talk much on this, but when Twitch died. Allison Holker, it was a client of mine and a friend of mine. Since I moved to Colorado, obviously we have lost touch. I did her makeup for her wedding and her hair. I was very much a part of their lives during that time. And I just was such devastating news. And I just wept for my friend. And I just was like, this place is so dark. And now, again, I'm not saying that, you know, he probably had, you know, some clinical stuff that was going on. I'm just saying that it can get real dark, especially in a caregiver situation, when you don't take care of yourself and you try your best to flip that script in your brain. Because I wouldn't want that for anybody. There's this woman I heard speak. She's a mother of 3 children. Her first child died at 3 years old of childhood cancer, much different cancer than Gray. And what she said really inspired me as well. And I feel like some of these stories are coming into my life this past several months for it to reassure me. Hold on one second. Sorry, my lunch came. But I was saying that I feel like a bunch of this stuff is happening to me because, or it coming into my life because it's trying to reassure me that I'm on the right path. So this woman's story, when she lost her daughter at 3 years old from childhood cancer, as you can expect, she was absolutely devastated for a couple of, I think she said about a year or 2 years. All the things that you would expect for this to come with, you know, not eating, not being able to get out of bed, all of those things. And when she said, but there was one day that she was listening to some podcast like I've been listening to, is that she said what changed her life was that she was listening to another story, and that mother said basically, I need to turn this into something positive. And instead of living in the negative and in the complete devastation of the situation, she turned this into saying, what she said was that she is just grateful to have the 3 years that she had with her daughter, and that her daughter has completely turned her life around, that she's now counseling women on how to move through things like this. She started a foundation, things of that nature. She said it was the greatest gift that she had ever given her, and she was the greatest gift. Now, that takes a minute to get to that place usually. When I heard that, I said, you know, I need to be just more grateful that she and all of these things that have been put in my life and in my way have made me who I am today. And I am grateful, no matter what happens, that these people and my beautiful daughter have been put into my life to teach me, heal me, grow with me, make me grow. And that is kind of how I continue to try to live, moving through such trauma and tragedy that I have experienced. So I hope that helps. I hope that I wasn't rambling. I feel just so called because it's just, you know, there's a lot going on in our world right now. A lot that we can't change. I can't change Gray's cancer diagnosis. I can't change her epilepsy diagnosis. I can't change the trauma that you know, there's so much we can't change. And if you focus on what you can change, and that is only yourself. It's really it. You can't change your partner. You can't change your friends, like how they act, things like that. You can change yourself. And that's really what we have to focus on. And instead of me living miserably, because I was resentful and miserable, and I was having a hard time getting out of bed, and, you know, which is all valid feelings, but I can't sustain that way of life because it would have destroyed me. You know what I mean? I'd rather be as happy and healthy as and productive as I can during this time of our lives, because we are so privileged to wake up each and every day, because not everybody does. So the last part I want to talk to you about is what's also helped me move through this grief, this very traumatic times in my life, A is age. Honestly, like I'm now almost 44. My birthday's in March. Age is a blessing in my opinion. So much wisdom comes with age. So much experience comes with age. I think I might have handled this a little bit differently if I was younger. Now, obviously when you're younger, you're a little bit more resilient, but I still had a calm about me that knew no matter what, at the end of the day, everything was going to be okay because of my life experience, you know? So, physical or tangible things that I have done to help me feel more like myself, because comment in the comment section, if you're a caregiver or you're going through a lot of trauma, it is not easy to take care of yourself. It's not easy. Okay, and there's always something to do, always something more important. You know, it's just how it is. So, I really changed my social media consumption, and this is newer for me. Yes, I'm on TikTok for business purposes. I don't really post there as much as I have in the past. I'm mainly on Instagram and obviously here on YouTube. But I had to change my consumption of all social media. TikTok can be a very fun but it's very escapist. For me, I can only speak for my own experience. I found myself to be on that more at night, kind of trying to escape what was going on during the day. And a bunch of that stuff on there is misleading. It is toxic. It is fear-mongering. It is very fear-based. And I can't live in fear like that. No, ma'am. That sends me into tailspins. So I had to change my social media consumption. So if this resonates with you, it's something to consider. And I know it's hard to do, but it is really something to consider. And then second of all, I started working out. I am forcing myself to at least walk. I go to Orange Theory. I'm now a couple months in, so it's a little bit different. But strength training, I used to be a dancer almost my whole life. But to get me to feel like I wanted to work out was like I wanted to vomit. But if you don't move that energy in your body, you don't move those, you get the serotonin levels up, you don't move, you're going to feel stale and stagnant. So no matter what moving that is, if you're going for a walk or you're going for a hike or you're actually going to workout class or the gym or whatever it is. But for me, I had to start working out. You have to move your body. You have to get going. I had to see sunlight every day. Now I live in Colorado. It's really freaking cold here. So I opened my blinds up every morning. There were months and months on end that I would never open my blinds. I would literally drop her off at school if she could, or she was napping, and I would go right back into bed in a very dark room. Not great for the psyche. Okay. I went and I got therapy. Yes, I now do therapy once a week to work through my PTSD of my younger life, as well as PTSD from all of this stuff. Gray has also started therapy as well to help her work through some of this stuff. But that has been really, really amazing, and I'm grateful that we can do that for our family. And then also too, you know, for me, I have never been one to discount any kind of like, you know, changing up your hair, cutting your hair, Botox, fillers, plastic surgery, blah, 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 all of those things. I love a good balance between a holistic, spiritual life as well as something that you do that makes you feel better for yourself. So over the past couple of years, I got my tubes tied in October. That was just because I wanted to be off birth control, and I'm pretty fertile and I don't want any more children. And then I saved for about 5 years, a little bit more than 5 years. Not in October 2021. I have dystasis. What is that called? Oh my God, why am I forgetting it? You guys know what I'm talking about. A lot of moms have it where your ribs are separated. Dystasis? Shoot, what is that called? You put it in the description box. I mean, in the comment section. I'm forgetting right now. Anyway, I had really bad dystasis, and so where my ribs were open. So what I did was that has been a problem since I've had her. I have felt really uncomfortable in all the clothes. It was affecting who I felt I was. It was affecting my self-talk. So I went and got a tummy tuck, and they closed that up, and I got a little chest lift. It was all done very conservatively. But that was 2 years ago. So I've been doing these things over the past several years to try to get myself back. And then that was 2 years ago. And then I got hit with, or we did, with Grace cancer. And so a lot of stuff came back. But it just helping me focus on me, because I have the time now, has really transitioned me into a much more happy person. That is balanced and calm and collected as much as possible. I'm not saying I always am, but on a more regular basis, I guess I should say. So taking care of myself and it didn't start all at once. I literally started the first day. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, most people get to a point where they're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. And either they change a job or they change a habit or whatever. I got to that place and I'm like, you are like, this is not okay. This doesn't feel good. You're not doing well. It's time to change. My first way I changed this is I went to therapy. I did that for a couple of months. That was the very first thing I changed. And then little things kind of started after that. So then I started walking, and then obviously working out more. And then I started meditating. And then I started, being just a much happier person. I started changing my beliefs. And then I started, I started getting my Botox again. I also started getting new clothes, finding a new style. That's why I started my Amazon series on here for clothes, because I was so lost in who I was and who my identity was. And that's important to me. It doesn't have to be important to you or everyone or anyone. That was important to me. It makes me feel good. Making sure that I have my hair done, my nails, I'm wearing, all of those things, to me, it makes me feel better. And then I'm a better mom, I'm a better wife, I'm better to myself, I'm a better friend. Anyway, as I ramble on, I hope that this makes sense. I hope that this can inspire just even one of you guys out there, if you're going through something, that is tough, challenging, devastating, that there is light on the other side, that you are not alone. You also have this whole community, which I always feel so supported by. We have the best squad here, but you're not alone. We're all here for you, and you are seen and you are heard, but there is a way out. There is a way to flip the script and live a better life that is more true and authentic to who you are, and allow you to enjoy life. It was really hard for me for a very long time to enjoy life. And, it's not going to be perfect for the rest of my life, but I know that now I have the tools and I've put enough work, and I'm going to continue to put enough work into myself to weather the storms in the future. And I hope to share those with you as well. And I hope you share them with the rest of the community here if you need any help to help have them lift you up. You are not alone. You have a whole community. So thank you all so much for listening to me always. I feel so eternally grateful that, everybody is here and been here for so long. I mean, I've been on YouTube for 11 years. I feel very grateful for this community. So thank you all for supporting me through this journey. And I love you all so, so much. And I will see you on the next one.